cause a lot of problems in terms of health and income. So that's what I will try to explore today. Okay. So definitions are very important, as I say to all my students and so on, before, or some of the young researchers, that before we actually go and talk about the subjects in great length, and we need to actually define. Okay. So substance abuse is when the individual take drugs. Let me just move my cursor. That is not legal. Okay. It's also when the individual uses so-called legal drugs like alcohol, prescription medicine, other legal substance in too much or in the wrong way. So it's actually differs from addiction. But what is interesting is that people with substance abuse, after after they get caught or they run out of money, they are able to quit their unhealthy behavior. Addiction, on the other hand, is a disease. It becomes you become dependent, both physically and psychological, on issues that it will cause you major harms. So we talk more about abuse rather than addiction in this conference. So what so-called legal and illegal drugs have chemicals that can change how our body and our mind works. They can give an individual a pleasurable high, eases the individual stress, or help the individual to avoid problem in the individual life. But mind you, is only short term. You need to take it continuously to feel this pleasure, and often it will lead to other problems, especially in health and also your finances, also your social life. So let's talk about something that is legal, which is alcohol. So alcohol is widely available in many countries, many forms, in many so-called percentage of alcohol we got. In Malaysia also, alcohol is widely available. In Malaysia, the rule is if you want to sell alcohol, you have to get a permit from the local authorities. Usually they will do this, you need to advertise in the paper to, if any the local community objects to it, and your license may not be approved. But usually, usually it's approved lah. Usually, because people got more other important things to think over than rather than complain to a local council about people selling alcohol in their area. So alcohol actually affects everyone differently. So interestingly, some ethnic groups in Malaysia are very susceptible to alcohol. Even a small amount, they'll start develop some allergic reaction, so they don't take a lot. But for those that can take, so very high levels that exceed the legal levels, then their chance of an injury accident actually goes up. So in terms of health, we always know that too much of drinking will actually affect the liver, because liver is primary responsible to eliminate the toxins of alcohol. But too much, all the liver enzymes may not be enough to actually bind to this toxin, and that's where you lead to liver injury. So WHO and other health authorities have come up with a limit for drinking. Okay, this is pretty conservative by nature. If you drink 14 units for male, you are drinking too much in a week. If for woman, it's actually 7 units a week. But you may allow for male 14 to 21, and for females actually up to 14. But that's actually a lot. So in Malaysia, actually most of the alcohol drinkers are actually social drinkers. If you ask, like when I see patients, especially for insurance, they will usually say that they take alcohol on social basis. So that social basis means when they meet their friends or they have parties and all. Of course, now because of COVID-19, that is less. So people quietly drink in their home and maybe watch a nice movie or something, watch whatever the TV is offering us now, cinema from home and so on. So we mentioned that alcohol affects the liver. It also causes other health problems, especially social problems. Um, Especially if a man is actually drinking too much, he may actually have some domestic problem. He will start hitting on his wife and also his children. So that's why alcohol causes more than health problems. It causes a lot of problems in the social life of alcohol drinker. So too much of anything, even alcohol that is legal, will cause problems later on. A common drug that is available that is abused in Malaysia is actually heroin. In Malaysia, as compared to other Western countries, um, uh, heroin is more widely available because of the cost, and because some countries that they are nearby to Malaysia are the source of heroin. In Malaysia per se, there is no factories or nobody grows drugs and so on, because there is it's a mandatory death sentence if you are found with heroin. If you are found with a few 100 grams of heroin, is a mandatory death sentence. So nobody dare to actually have possession of that. If you are planting it or manufacturing it, is automatic given a death sentence. So they are illegal smugglers that actually bring drugs and to Malaysia and actually destroy the life of many. So actually it came out of actually a prescription drug, morphine. So somehow they found a byproduct of morphine, which is heroin, as a useful, as a as something that they can do to actually um, to actually give a individual a rush of good feeling. But then later on, it will cause a lot of health implications. Mainly, we look at heroin as causing health implication, as people will stop eating, people will stop drinking, people will just concentrate on taking heroin, and because of that, you affect your metabolic, the organ are starved of nutrients, and then it causes also a lot of social implications, a lot of domestic problems, a lot of we ever have heard that every other driver that is caught on the road driving recklessly, or I just read a news that one driver that was reckless, he hit his car at as because of now got a lot of police roadblock because of this COVID-19. So actually, he hit a roadblock, and then his car got some fire started in the engine. Then he started to hit all these security personnel that were actually guarding the roadblock. Then he landed himself in problem, and they found him to be positive for drugs. So every other people that is caught doing some abnormal things that we shouldn't do. They are intoxicated with drugs and so on. So cocaine, in Malaysia, the availability of cocaine is very questionable because of the cost and the supply, the supply chain. This drug actually speed up the individual whole body. When the individual uses cocaine, they actually function in a different manner, very fast, super efficient. But then instead of being happy, they may be very angry. Then they can easily do crime, or even start to drive their vehicles recklessly and so on. Okay. Sometimes you feel that you are not the same individual. Okay, and then you do things that doesn't make sense. Like driving recklessly is not making sense, because you are not endangering yourself alone. You are endangering other people. Other people. Maybe some elderly folks, some children, and some people that actually they do abide by the law. Okay. So using cocaine even for a long time, it actually may create a strong craving for the drug and cause a lot of problems in terms of health. So if those that use this kind of drug, they only concentrate on taking this drug, their whole life is focused on this, so they stop eating, stop drinking, that lead to problems with their liver, kidney, and even their cognitive functioning at some level. So another common drug that is being used is actually in our side of the world we call it ganja, but I think the western side they call it marijuana. Okay, so it makes you very happy. It makes you very happy, and this used to be a drug that was commonly used in parties and so on. I guess because of the cost and easy availability, because marijuana was leaves and so on. I don't know how, but it was widely available at one time. But of course, as the effect, wears off, you feel sleepy and you forget, things that happen. And, invariably, anybody caught with drunk driving or, driving recklessly, they are intoxicated. They suddenly do a crime that they don't normally do, or, hit the officer of law. Invariably, they are positive for drugs. Or those that go to nightclubs and so on, to relieve their tension and all that. Of course, during the COVID now, nightclubs and so on, some of the operations are banned now. What they call invariably those that get caught and so on, they're all positive for drugs and so on. So that is a thing, they again lead to the person not caring for themselves, and lead to a lot of health and social problems as well. So the last thing perhaps I want to mention is about cigarettes as well. So unfortunately, despite worldwide, so-called promotion that that cigarettes actually causes a lot of problems, instead of cigarettes, being removed slowly from the shelves, just like mercury. I think everybody realizes that now we doctors don't use the manual BP set that contains mercury. Now we are trying to use digital BP sets because of a lot of mercury has been dumped into the river and seas, and a lot of the fish are apparently dying because of mercury, or causing problems to men when they start eating that kind of fish. So, but then it seems a cigarette are here to stay, and even there is an alternative form of cigarettes like vaping, electronic cigarette, and whatnot. And in Malaysia, got some designer shops that actually are selling cigarettes and so on. So we thought that putting all that advertisement on the cigarette packet, that smoking kills, causes lung cancer, make your fetus abnormal, don't have missing a leg or missing an eye. We thought it would make it one, but apparently now it's actually become more. And the misconception of many is that vaping is safe, electronic cigarette is safe, but actually it may be more harmful. It's just that it's recently in the market, so the effect is not seen now. But many studies have shown that cigarette smoking causes a lot of problems, health problems, especially lung cancers. Nevertheless, it causes other problems as well: bladder cancer, prostate cancer, pancreatic cancer, brain cancer, and just name it. And it also lead to a person having cardiovascular problems like high blood pressure. Also lead to complications such as heart attack and stroke. So it's a good idea to actually to quit cigarette smoking, and to actually reduce its use. And it starts with us, there are frontliners in the health and so on. So the problems in quitting a cigarette is because it contains a chemical called nicotine that keeps you addicted to it. So that's why WHO and a lot of countries around the world, the health authorities have actually worked very hard to actually produce something similar to tobacco smoking. I mean, those that contain nicotine, like nicotine gums and nicotine patch, so get you off the tobacco, because nicotine itself is not very harmful, but the other products in the cigarette smoke is harmful, like tar, asbestos, and so on. Whatever the smoke is very harmful for health. So the more you smoke, the more you get addicted to, and then you want to smoke more. I have noticed that sometimes when I go to the convenience store, people may buying a piece of bread that costs maybe 20 cents USD, that may cover their breakfast, but then they are buying cigarettes that actually cost 5 to 6 USD, and sometimes they buy 2 packets as well. So they are sacrificing yeah, valuable income for the sake of smoking, which is actually not beneficial at all. Okay. So nicotine is a problem. So that's why the health products like nicotine gums and patch and all that is helpful in actually reducing the addiction. Okay. So just to summarize my presentation, is a big problem worldwide. The problem lies that is easily available, despite it being illegal for certain substance. It's still available. As long there is a demand, there is always. And then it seems that initially the drug pushers and so on actually give you free sample for those that want to try. And then once they get addicted, that's where your problems start. Then you need to find cash, and to sustain this habit. So, of course, in Malaysia, all these illegal substances are all banned, and processing a certain amount may lead you to be, get death sentence by hanging. But it seems that it's still prevalent, this problem. It has many implications as we talk about health, society, legal related. As you possess a certain amount of drugs, you can be jailed, or even sentenced, suffer a severe sentence. So you are coming a flight to Malaysia. Hopefully, one day, we all can travel freely again. They will remind you that Malaysian, authorities places very serious view of drugs, and you can be sentenced to death if you carry a certain amount of drugs. So they always remind us, even I'm traveling abroad also, they always remind us to always check your bag, your luggage, make sure you don't carry anything for anyone. Because, they may put the drugs and you are the one that will be caught, and you are, then you will be sentenced. Okay. So authority and also society actually plays a very crucial role in stopping this menace. We need to do something about it. We cannot let it to continue. So now we are in the 21st century. Of course, now addiction, gaming addiction, internet addiction. But at least that is not causing problems. I mean, it may cause a bit of health problems and so on, not enough sleep and so on, but at least it's not causing implication to your other, organs and your ability to draw income. In fact, gaming addiction is actually quite good. You actually can earn quite a good income from gaming expert, so actually it's not too bad, but this addiction, abuse of all this drug or abuse and so on is actually not very useful. With that,